What is poppin', y'all? It's your man, Club Boy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly. What a day of football. Packers. Obviously, we're going over the game today. The Packers take down the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Packers now going to the record of 6-2. They are 3-1 on the road. How about that? Jacksonville Jaguars unfortunately dropped to 2-6. It just has been that season for Jacksonville. But this was an incredibly close game that came down to the very end, as I predicted. Would I say this was our best defensive game? No. I think our defense started out really strong, but as time went on, they just were on the field way too much. And that honestly got them really tired. And Jacksonville, despite us really taking control, we were able to let it be taken away from us as, things were going on. But this was a game that came right down to the very end. But the only thing that really matters is what happened in this game. Jordan Love unfortunately suffered another injury. He suffered a groin injury in the first half of the game that forced him to basically really look, well, I would say not so. It just really wasn't looking good for Jordan Love. But as time went on, he really started to, get worse and worse. And then 2 plays into the second half, gets injured. And unfortunately, Malik Willis had to come in. And it was back to that rushing attack offense that really the Packers really did well on. And I think it really benefited us switching it up. I think the defense really couldn't do anything on Jacksonville's side. It was pretty crazy, but it really, because of that injury, I think it worked out. Jordan Love finished the day 14 of 22, 196 yards. He did throw an interception. That interception was thrown to Jimon Jones, which was an athletic play, by the way. And 1 carry for -1, but that was, I think, a kneel down. But yeah, that wasn't what you really want to see out of Jordan Love, But it's a lot of things are going on with this Packers team that's just great, To be 6-2 and only a half game away from the division, where we have to face the front runner in the division next week. Big implications in the future. This is big next week. This was considered what you'd call a trap game, but the Packers were able to survive it. But Jordan Love, obviously, they had to do it without Jordan Love, and obviously they did it on the ground. And Malik Willis had to come into the game and get the job done. Malik Willis, out of respect, I didn't really know who to give the game ball to because there were so many people that contributed this time around. And it was like, oh, great, what do you do here? But there was a lot of people that I really had to give it to. Now, obviously, because we won on a game-winning field goal by Brandon McManus, the game ball automatically is going to go to him. However, if it wasn't for that unbelievable taking advantage of Malik Willis, who would have ever thought this even happened? I thought deep down, this was going to go to overtime when they tied it up. But Malik Willis and Jaden Reed connected they brought us down at one play, 3rd down, huge. They brought us down to field goal. It just was insane. It was insane. I couldn't even believe it that it even happened. The guy fell, and that's why he was wide open, but he was already open anyways. But what a day. I guess because game ball automatically goes to Brandon McManus, I'm just going to give out to my shout out to Malik Willis, who definitely really came through in the end. 4 of 5, 56 yards, as well as a touchdown. But the key on the ground tonight, was the ground game. Josh Jacobs, what a day he had. 25 carries, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He only had a catch for -2, but that wasn't that much. Malik Willis also had 4 carries for 23. Chris Brooks was even getting on the action. 4 carries for 16. Emmanuel Wilson, 4 for 5. And everyone was, they were really trying to contribute, everybody. Tucker Kraft led the day, 3 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown, including a 67-yard catch and run. That was pretty outstanding. Romeo Dobbs, 3 catches for 72. Jaden Reed, 2 for 55. Christian Watson, 4 for 39. Dontavian Wicks, 2 for 11. A great game for everybody on that side. On the defensive side, Edgerrin Cooper, man, what a day he had. 9 total tackles. Him and Eric Wilson both got 9 total tackles, 5 solo. Edgerrin Cooper, however, did get a sack that turned into a forced fumble. Edgerrin Cooper even doing some pass deflections, even a big pass deflection on Christian Kirk that unfortunately cost him his season. He landed on his collarbone, and Christian Kirk's out for the year for Jacksonville. That's a big blow because he was a big trade candidate. But yeah, 9 tackles for 10. Isaiah McDuffie had 8. They really had a lot of linebackers. That was the only time they sacked him, unfortunately, today. And of course, Xavier McKinney, once again, another interception. That is his 6th interception of the season. Still leads the league in interceptions. That's what really matters. And Brandon McManus was 3 of 3 from the field goals this time around, which is great because what else would you want? Trevor Lawrence, on the other hand, 21 of 32, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception, was sacked on the rushing, and then he had 4 carries for 10 yards and a rushing touchdown as well. Tank Bigsby had 18 carries for 78 yards and 2 catches for 8. Brian Thomas Jr. led the way receiving, 3 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. Christian Kirk had 2 for 59 before getting his season-ending injury. 5 for 59 yards for Brendan Strange. Parker Washington had 3 for 46. Evan Ingram had 4 for 36 and the other touchdown. Dearness Johnson had a carry for 3 and a catch for 20. Tim Jones had a catch for 20. Not much. And of course, Trevor Lawrence also fumbled. And for Adase Lucan, I don't even know how to say that. He led the way with 9 total tackles. Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker both combined for a sack, which was not much. And their kicker was 2 of 2 from the field, Cam Little. Both punters had 5 punts equivalently, and the Packers managed to win again. What a game that was. Can't imagine that Doug Peterson's getting fired at some point this season for Jacksonville. It's just been a bad season. But hopefully the Packers, but unfortunately injuries were also kind of an issue. I mean, they lost Evan Williams in the middle of the game to a groin issue. Hopefully it's a not long term. They had to move Bullard. Bullard just can't cover in the safety. He just can't cover as a safety. He's great at tackling, but they got to really figure him out. Evan Williams was really great, and it's pretty much proven, Evan Williams is a big X factor. Hopefully they can have him back. Josh Jacobs also limped off a little bit, but maybe it was he had such a big game. He's got to really work. He's got to really figure this thing. And then the one with Jordan Love, you got to think about it. And then hopefully Quay Walker's back next week. Obviously having him back is huge, but man, Edgerrin Cooper is a real deal. I mean, he is a real deal linebacker. I'm so excited to see what he brings. He's gonna be something else. Even Eric Wilson is like proving that he should even get starting reps because of how good he's been in these little situations. You know what? This is a young team. Now, the only thing I think we need to work on is pass rush because unfortunately our edge rushers have done absolutely nothing. Rashawn Gary has barely gotten a sack. Preston Smith is barely getting playing time. They're using Lucas Van Ness and Kingsley Enagbare. They just keep rotating everybody. That's the only thing. Our edge rushers are not doing the job. And that's the only thing I really want to look forward to as we're really at the halfway point of the season. That is something I really want to see going forward. And, I think it's very important. You got to really show up when it really matters. Now, on the other hand, Jordan Love, groin injury. What happens forward? Now, we have one game, then we got a bye week, and then we go into Chicago. Now, this game is the big game that really determines playoff implications. Detroit Lions took every ounce of their offense and put it on the Tennessee Titans and blew them out of the smoke. They blew them and they poofed, vanished like smoke. What a game by the Lions. They are the team to beat this year. They are seriously the best team in all of football. This Lions team is just outstanding, both defensively and offensively. As I said, the only thing that I'm thinking is going to basically lose them out on the Super Bowl is losing Aiden Hutchinson for the year. But I think, I just don't really think it matters. I think this Detroit Lions team is simply one of the best teams I've seen in some time. We get to host them next week. With or without Jordan Love, do I think they should practice him this week? I think let's see how it goes. They're going to run some tests Obviously, a video will likely come out with my proposed prediction on, or thoughts on what happens. But I think even with Jordan Love playing and with Malik Willis starting, even though it's a home game, I don't even think it makes a difference. I don't think they'll win. I just don't think they'll win next week. I personally don't. It's just if we have a banged up Jordan Love and Malik Willis, I don't think it's good enough to beat. No, I could be wrong and completely proven wrong, but the Packers got to be on their A game. And if they don't even have Jordan Love, then it's like, okay, what do you do here? But I'm really confident that, where we're at right now is a really good spot. Minnesota lost to the Rams. Now, they're maybe starting to go downhill, but they do play the Colts next week. And then the Bears should have won, but luckiest Hail Mary I've ever seen by Jaden Daniels. Holy cow. The Bears lose a heartbreaking game, and they drop to, I think, 4-3 now. 5-2, 4-3. My gosh. It's crazy. Just crazy. So, still, Detroit Lions are 6-1. We're 6-2. They obviously had a bye week, so we have yet to have our bye week. But this game is huge because either we take the lead going into the bye week, and we'll have the tiebreaker if they win the next week. This is huge. This is so huge going into next week. Big game, lots of implications, but possibly no Jordan Love. A lot to think about. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. If you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and as always, we will see you. I mean, why does every game have to come so close? I mean, it's always coming down to the very end, man. It's just crazy, but that's entertainment. Entertainment. Anyways, if you'll go Pack Go, we will see you next time.